You're watching a clip from the Club podcast.
Make sure you follow it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and give it a 5-star review.
So here you go. Here's a lovely clip from our podcast.
We have to talk about, let's start off with a bit of a personal one from my perspective. Ilkay Gundogan has left the club officially. That happened today upon recording. He's joined Barcelona.
7 years at Manchester City.
And it's a little bit emotional. He's obviously the first signing in the Guardiola era. He's a player that helped us win the FA Cup final against you lot.
How much did you pay for it?
£20 million. And he was injured. He had back injuries at Dortmund at the back end of his time in Germany. He actually had a big knee injury in that season as well. And Guardiola said personally to him, "We assure you that we want you. We're going to chase you down and keep trying to sign you forever because we want you. You're the kind of player that we want." And he's blossomed and grown into a City icon, a City legend. Fastest goal in FA Cup final history, a treble winner. Let's just talk about maybe the footballing side of it before I can talk maybe a little bit more about his legacy.
Him though.
Yeah.
Where does he rank for you? Because he came for 20 million. He scored some crucial goals. We think of the game against Villa.
Game against Villa. Another one against
United
Brighton.
in the Cup.
Yeah. The 98-point season he scored against Brighton, free kick.
United in the Cup. Well, that was David De Gea a little bit, but nevertheless, his first goal was unreal.
First goal was unreal.
But he's proper led this team
100%.
at a difficult time and to a huge treble. And that will kind of put a cherry on his legacy. Does that edge him ahead of the likes of Silva and stuff? Or
Do you know
does
what?
it put him alongside them?
It's like me saying to you, was Solskjaer a better striker than Andy Cole? No, he wasn't. In all aspects of the game. Gundogan isn't as good as David Silva, in my opinion, or De Bruyne, or even Fernandinho at points, or Yaya Toure. I don't think he is as good as those players. But in terms of the moments for a club, he's right up there in terms of maybe top 5 most singularly important players in the history of Man City. Again, scoring the quickest goal in the FA Cup final history. These are serious achievements that he has. And he showed up for about 4 or 5 years out of the 7 years at the club. He showed up for clutch moments. So I can't sit here and say he's actually ever better than David Silva. That's just my opinion.
Or better than De Bruyne but
or
he's been
even
as
Yaya
important
Toure.
as them.
But he's probably more significant than Yaya Toure on some level. From a City's perspective, there is a little bit of, not frustration, because it could be greedy to say that I'm frustrated that we've lost Ilkay Gundogan and could sign Declan Rice potentially. We'll talk about that later. But a little bit frustrated that it's come out today that the club feels internally that if we'd offered him a little bit more security in terms of a long-term deal, he might have stayed. That could come back to bite us.
Great managers do, though, isn't it? They move on at the right times, or they, if you're going to give Gundogan a 3-year contract, yes, that might be good for the next year. But then where does that leave you in 2 years' time? And you've got this player who's on a contract, however a big contract, and he's probably not happy to be not playing every game or something. You've also got to look at the fact that many say it was like a lifestyle choice for him. He's having his missus peck his head saying, I want to go to Barcelona and all these kind of things. And I can imagine once you win a treble, or like once you've won that Champions League, even forget the treble. Once you've won that Champions League at Man City, it's easier then for a lot of players to go, I'm done now.
Yeah.
We've achieved it. Because there would have been a point where Gundogan goes last season, that Champions League is coming. Do I want to leave yet? Because everyone's kind of felt like he's eventually going to. And maybe if you don't win it this season, does he go, actually, I'll stay another year? Yeah,
another couple of years. Yeah, 100% is a really good shout. And I think the other factor is Barcelona, one that, for some people, the biggest club in the world, at least top 3 or 4. Of course, it's a lifestyle. You're living in Barcelona. The city itself is incredible. And of course, they just won the league. I mean, the project that Xavi is building is genuine. It was a little bit slow, and the kind of transfer saga last season in terms of registering players has kind of gone under the radar this season. I don't feel it's as bad. He's playing, behind Lewandowski, Frankie de Jong. You got a good young couple of players in terms of Pedri, Gabi's playing. So they're good young players that Ilkay Gundogan
have they
go
paid
in.
for him? He's been on a free, right?
Yeah, no, but it's
on a free?
complete free. It's complete free.
Best signing of the summer.
It's right up there. If he stays fit for 3 years,
value for money wise,
could he help them win a Champions League? Is he that kind of player for you? If they build around him, he's
not going to be the difference between Barca last season and them winning the Champions League, but he could play a major part.
Gets closer.
Yeah, he could play a major part in that.
Yeah, 100%. Where does he rank for you then in terms of looking at it from a more of a macro perspective? Was he ever world class? Is he a top 10 all-time Prem
I think
midfielder
anybody
for you?
that can play for Barcelona, obviously he's moved to Barcelona now, but anyone that can play for Pep's team and do what they do, I think they kind of have to be world class. But is he top 10 Premier League? Like, his highlight reel will be top 10 Premier League. Like, cup winning goals, Premier League winning goals, performing in the Champions League, etc., etc. His highlight reel will be, but does he go down as a better midfielder than the likes of Vieira, Scholes, Keane?
Even Essien, someone like
Bruyne?
that. Yeah.
Probably not. But
Steven Gerrard.
that's not necessarily
Xabi
a
Alonso.
bad thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing, do you know what I mean?
No, you don't.
He's ahead of Xabi Alonso, I think.
You think? I think there's still a
in
debate.
the Premier League,
Yeah.
like from a Premier League perspective. In fact, I know Xabi Alonso was a fantastic player. Gundogan's clear.
But you know what I'm trying to say? I can't. De Bruyne goes into the top 5 all-time Premier League debate. I think Ilkay Gundogan still will struggle with those kind of debates. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's an image thing. He's quite a low-key kind of character.
That's like with... Is that not like with... So you know how United fans have Keane and Scholes? And we will argue with Keane and Scholes about being the best in the Premier League or top 3, top 5. Whatever the debate is, we'll argue for them. But it makes you forget Carrick. And Carrick could almost maybe hold his own in one of those debates. And that's kind of probably what happens with Gundogan because you've got De Bruyne, Silva, Yaya.
Yeah.
You forget him.
100%.
Maybe, I don't think that will be the case in 10 years.
Yeah, I hope not. Declan Rice is obviously linked massively to City. I think there was a period at the midpoint of last week where it looked like he was very close to joining City. Then there's a kind of bit of talk about him wanting to join Arsenal for staying in London reasons and maybe being a bigger fish in a smaller pond, with all due respect to Arsenal.
Is that you just having a dig, or is that...
No, there were genuine reports, not the big fish thing, but the kind of idea of him wanting to be in London, be a captain for Arsenal, more of a significant thing for him personally, maybe. That's what I did hear a lot of.
Is he an Arsenal fan? He's not a West Ham fan.
I think he's a Chelsea fan. I might be wrong. But he definitely came through the Chelsea Academy with Mason Mount, I think it was.
Yeah.
But London's a big draw, and Arsenal's, it is a bigger football club than Man City. I have to be honest about that. It's a massive signing if we replace Ilkay Gundogan with Declan Rice. It feels like Bayern Munich. It feels like Real Madrid strangling the league if we were to do that.
You know what, though? A lot of people have got scared about, they're going to sign Declan Rice. I don't think it's as big of a deal as people make out. Look, I think it's a fantastic signing. Maybe a little bit overpriced, although in this market, I don't think so anymore. Like, you can't get anybody for 8 million these days. So maybe he's not overpriced anymore in this market. But it's not the end of, like, if you lose Gundogan and Bernardo Silva and you bring in Declan Rice, I know you're probably bringing someone else as well. It's not like your midfielder's taken a massive upgrade. No. I know he's still one for the future and he's still a very good player, but it's not like it gets scarier.
No, yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
It has a higher ceiling than
if you see Gundogan on a team sheet and then I show you a next team sheet and they've replaced Gundogan with Rice, you don't go, that one's a bit...
Not right now, but you're doing in 3-4 years' time, you think.
Yeah, of course. Especially once Pep gets... And that's the thing. It's Pep. It's not even these players.
Yeah.
You can give him... All right, let's say Pep goes, Declan Rice can't be ours. I'll take Lavia back. Lavia will be the next best player in the Premier.
That's what I'm questioning.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it doesn't necessarily matter who the signing is because you're always going to sign a player from the top 10%. It's about Pep.
I think someone that we haven't really talked about is Kovacic. He obviously comes in and is basically immediately the Gundogan replacement like for like. And then I guess Declan Rice is the complement to Rodri, and then Calvin Phillips will go out the door. I guess that kind of makes a bit more sense. So Kovacic comes in, Champions League winning midfielder, 25 million quid. It's basically like for Ilkay Gundogan, and he's 4 years younger than Ilkay Gundogan, or 3 years younger. So that's an unbelievable bit of business as well.
I love how Chelsea just went, we'll take whatever you're offering for that. And then when it comes to Mason Mount, they're trying to drag their heels. What the hell's going on there?
Is that bad blood between you and Man United and Chelsea, or is that just...
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
I think people just know United a bit mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or the reputation, in the past at least, was just wait, they'll pay whatever you want.
Yeah, 100%.
Probably going before us.
Very quickly on Calvin Phillips, one of the most unlucky players ever, maybe.
Unlucky? The most lucky player ever.
Do you think lucky?
He's turned up. He got bought for £50 million. His agent would have got a fat agency fee. He would have got a fat signing on fee. His wages would have tripled. He won a treble doing nothing. He's at the time of his life.
The reason I say unlucky is because obviously he's a hard-working player. He's not one of those guys that just sort of sits on the bench.
He is your David May.
No, well, yeah, I guess so.
You know,
but,
just in all the pictures.
Jesse Lingard like being on the bench and making his little TikToks. Calvin Phillips isn't like that. He would have loved to have played 35, 40 games last season. He wasn't able to because of injury and then form.
To be fair, Jesse Lingard was scoring winners in finals. You can't compare Jesse Lingard to Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, but you know what I'm trying to say, a kind of bench warmer that Jesse Lingard now does at Nottingham Forest of all clubs. But yeah, Calvin Phillips, crazy.
He's unattached now.
He'll be going to
hopefully he finds a club soon.
To who? Oh, Jesse Lingard?
Yeah, City.
Crazy.